Welcome to our series, Questions and Answers for a World in Crisis. As you are aware, all of the answers are from the works of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. We welcome any of you to send us themes that you would like defined, explained. Especially, I invite young people with the many problems they face in this incredibly rapid and confusing world at this time. Today, the subject is the psychic. When humanity was first created, the ego was the unifying element. It was around the ego that the different states of being were grouped. But now that the birth of superhumanity is being prepared, the ego has to disappear and give way to the psychic being, which has slowly been formed by divine intervention in order to manifest the divine in the human being. It is under the psychic influence that the divine manifests in man, and thus prepares the coming of superhumanity. Mother wrote the following on the 8th of February, 1972. The psychic is immortal, and it is through the psychic that immortality can be manifested on earth. So the important thing now is to find one's psychic, unite with it, and allow it to replace the ego, which will be compelled either to get converted or disappear. The psychic may see and regret the stupidity of the other parts of the being, but by its very nature, it is impossible for it to be depressed. The whole being must be governed by the psychic being, and by that alone. It is behind the mind, behind the vital, in the psychic center, that one can find the quietness that never wavers. The extreme sweetness of the psychic consciousness always makes the outer consciousness weep with emotion. From a disciple, "Oh, Mother, what should I do? I am completely unconscious. Mother, where are you?" In your psychic being, I am always present there. It is there that you can find me and must find me. And when you have found me there in the depths of your heart, you will also recognize me in my physical form. The psychic voice is silent. It manifests in the form of an understanding or knowledge rather than in words. Question to the mother: isn't there any difference between the effect of the psychic voice and the voice of the mental Purusha? Mother: yes, there is a great difference. It is much more difficult to hear the psychic message than the voice of the mental Purusha. The latter is not infallible and is liable to err. The psychic never errs. When can one hear the psychic message? When one is very silent and attentive. It is only in a state of calm that one can enter into contact with one's psychic consciousness. It is certainly not sadhana that stands in the way of inner peace. On the contrary, for the sadhana is based entirely on this inner peace, which is the essential condition for progress. To enter into contact with the psychic consciousness, a patient concentration is indeed necessary. What do you mean by the psychic life of the world? Just as there is a psychic life in human beings, there is a psychic life in the earth, and doubtless in other worlds too. But how can I get this psychic consciousness? By aspiration, prayer, and concentration. In children, the psychic is often very much on the surface, and it makes them peaceful and happy. As one grows up, the vital and the mind develop and take on more importance. And then the troubles and sorrows begin. The psychic being is constantly and invariably in contact with the divine, and never loses this contact. The divine is constantly present in the psychic being, and the latter is quite conscious of this. For you, the best way to begin is to find your psychic being, to concentrate on it by making it the witness of all your inner movements and the judge of all that you should or should not do, and to strive to submit your external nature to its decisions. The psychic being is the individual sheath of the divine presence. It is found deep within oneself, beyond all thoughts. Communications from the psychic do not come in a mental form. They are not ideas or reasonings. They have their own character, quite distinct from the mind. Something like a feeling that comprehends itself and acts. By its very nature, the psychic is calm, quiet, and luminous, understanding and generous, wide and progressive. Its constant effort is to understand and progress. The mind describes and explains. The psychic sees and understands. 13th December, 1971. The psychic is conscious of its progressive formation during successive lives upon earth. So it has the memory of the important moments in its previous lives. The more the psychic has taken part in these physical lives on earth, the more numerous and precise its memories are. 14th December, 1971.